Hello, welcome back to the James Ramen Reviews for another episode. In today's episode, I'm actually going to be reviewing for you Carry On, which is one of the more recent Netflix movies. And before I get into how I felt about the movie, rating out of 10 and stuff like that, I'm just going to give you a bit of context into, going into this movie and things like that. So for me, this movie, it was only like one of these movies where I knew about it, I heard about it, but I had no idea what it was actually about until I started watching it. And there's also some really famous actors in this movie. One in particular, Jason Bateman. He's been in millions and millions of comedy movies. He was also starred in Air about Michael Jordan from last year, and that really surprised me, and I really did enjoy that film. And then Taron Egerton, who's actually in the Kingsman movies, enjoyed those kind of movies, and so I know of these actors, but I didn't really know what I was actually in for until I started watching the movie. And so because this is a recent Netflix movie, I'm not going to spoil everything about the movie, but just going to give you a basic plot summary in my own words here. That pretty much you have this guy who works in the airport, right? He's a security guard, and then there's this other guy who is kind of like telling him to follow these instructions and go through this process where it leads to this certain thing happening. And so you have this shady guy in the airport played by Jason Bateman, and he's actually up to something so suspicious, and it all goes wrong. And then the guy the security guard played by Taron Egerton, right? He's kind of in the mix of this all, and he kind of gets involved in it, and it all goes down. And that is probably the best way to describe this movie. And so, how did I feel about this movie? And so this is an interesting one, as I have seen some things where people are comparing this to Die Hard, and how it is like this movie where it's kind of a Christmas movie, but it's more so like a Christmas movie where there's a completely different kind of theme and feel to it, rather than just having tons of Christmas decorations or the Christmas spirit and stuff like that. It's going for a whole new different approach. And I'm gonna be honest to say that this is one of the most overrated mid movies I have watched in this entire year of cinema, because the movie, it has an interesting concept, don't get me wrong, and I feel like Jason Bateman carries it, and he has a pretty fun performance where he's playing into the mind of Taron Egerton. But once it tries to take itself so damn seriously, right, you have these moments where there is some actually just silly, over the top action, and then it becomes one of the most predictable movies you could ever ask for, because literally you obviously knew that the security guard played by Taron Egerton, was going to get everything that he exactly wanted. And you could feel like the bad guy was obviously not going to get what he wanted, because he's the bad guy and he's causing havoc and he's causing mayhem. And so honestly, I'm going to give this movie a solid 5 out of 10. I would not recommend this movie. I genuinely do not understand why people are comparing this to Die Hard. Die Hard is one of the Christmas classics, and I would never even go to that length of actually comparing it to Die Hard. So yeah, that is my review. Hope you enjoyed this review, and you'll stay tuned for more like it. This is not a Christmas special review. This is just an additional type of movie that I watched, and for I have a different opinion to some other people on YouTube about this movie and the internet, about how this is some amazing, well written piece of media. Well, it was just one of the most average movies I've ever watched. So yeah, that's my review. I will carry on and make more videos. Bye.